for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln or their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe. The Jerky Bowl has kicked off at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska. From now until halftime of the big game, every online order gets you entered into their incredible giveaway. The grand prize is a 30-bag jerky sample pack, $225 value, while second place is a 15-bag sample pack, while third place is a Be Mine jerky box. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Order now at smokinggunjerky.com, and if you enter promo code EARLY, you'll not only get 10% off your order, but also be entered twice for the drawing. It's the Jerky Bowl at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
February is American Heart Month, and with heart disease as the #1 leading cause of death in Nebraska, now is the best time to start thinking about your health. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure is one of the best ways to avoid heart disease, and the blood pressure screening is fast, easy, and can be free. The best way to get screened is at your yearly wellness visit with your doctor. For more information and ways to get a blood pressure screening, search Chronic Disease Nebraska. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's only a room with shelves and books, but it's far more magical than it looks. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association and a big fan of libraries. Instill a love of books and learning by reading to your children and grandchildren. Doing so can create a lifelong habit that leads to exploration, knowledge, and a successful future.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and joined by the partner on the 1 and 2s, that Mr. Harrison. Always good to have him here on Sunday, February 9th, or otherwise known globally as Super Bowl Sunday, which I'm going to boycott since America's team is not playing. So we'll
pass a lot of boycotting over the years, Pete. I got to admit.
It's been about 20 years plus. You know, I was like, why not go ahead and keep the tradition going?
Yeah.
But I didn't want anybody to mistake who I was supporting. It seems like on this day, like, either people come out with their fandom shirts, or I was, Fitness Fanatics. There was a Green Bay shirt. I was waiting for you to wear the Bears, just saying, like, our year is next year.
No, we're just being quiet. There's a lot of hate around the Bears already, because people are already just tired of hearing about the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna lay low, and then I'll say something crazy, like first week before the NFL season starts, and then
preseason.
I'm getting excited. I keep asking everybody, list me the NFC North in order, and Bears are still it's about last with everybody, but we'll find out what happens here. I'll ask you honestly with the Bears,
okay?
Because I never asked you, give me your honest projection next year. NFC North, when you get the Vikings, Packers, Lions, I think it's just stacked. Because the Bears, you got to get a wild card most likely, and you're saying they're going to get the #1. So where are you putting them?
I am putting them in the mix because I wasn't a huge fan of Caleb Williams, but he gets the game. He understands the game, and so I think he's one of those individuals, especially after watching Daniels and Washington and just who he had around him. If he gets those pieces, I think they can be really, really dangerous. And if you watch how Detroit kind of transformed themselves the last couple of years, they could really, really be in the mix. And their ownership, everybody, I think all ownerships are messy. I mean, after you look at the Dallas and Lakers, I don't think there's an ownership that you're like.
Well, rest in peace to the Bears owner, too, McCaskey, who passed away. So I'm not even entirely sure.
So there's that transition of what's going on.
So there's that.
So I always tell people, you're a game away. They were a game away. So what happens if that Hail Mary doesn't happen? all of a sudden does that the demeanor, does the bravado of that team look a little bit different? I mean, that just sucked the wind out of them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the questions started coming and the boo birds. And I mean, we've seen that here just, in Nebraska. So I'm going to, though they're not at the top because it's just loaded.
Yeah. I'm probably still going.
I could see a strong wild card, depending on the start that they get. And if they start building and breeding some confidence within the organization, and there's still time for a couple moves to be made.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that I think so just like the Cowboys, I mean, I have hope. I think I'm not ruling them out. There's some other organizations that I'm like, they're not there to play.
I'm feeling better than the Panthers are.
Yeah, they're there in name only and waiting for the sun, stars, moon, and everything to align.
All right. I selfishly just want to ask because I never asked you about the Chicago Bears, but I know we got a guest in the studio. But before we do that, anything else you want to dive into?
It's just great weather outside again. I mean, I think we're going to be on that ebb and flow. We talked a little bit earlier, got some sickness and things like that going around. I know as a school district and school districts across the country are facing a little bit of that with the influenza and norovirus and different things. And so people, please take care of yourselves. I know it gets a little warm outside, and I think everybody thinks they're back in college when you wore shorts to class and a tank top and everything else, but stay covered up, get that dome covered up and the kids covered up. And then, just that midst of the season. I mean, we got Gianna in, and we'll get to her in a little bit, but you got show choir, you got theaters, you got, like I said, last week, the one acts. I do want to give a special shout out to the Northwest bowling team. They are going to state. We had them on a week ago, and those young men, I mean, it was all the interviews I really am impressed with the scholars and how they engage with, but just the smoothness and how they flowed and the advice they gave, really, I'm not surprised that they were set up for success.
Yeah, and I got a lot of respect to I forget what the
Austin,
a big Kobe Bryant fan.
Yeah,
you can tell he's kind of got that demeanor. It's just the way he acted, and then apparently he did pretty well then. If they will go ahead and going down to state, so yeah, congratulations to those guys, and it's really cool just to see. Not only, we do have a bunch of scholars, but bowling in particular. I think it's cool that, especially around the Midwest, because I talk to a lot of the bowlers here at the University of Nebraska. There's a lot of bowlers in the Midwest, and like very rarely do they ever get recognized. And there are some incredible bowlers out there, like Jillian Martin. She's getting the credit here at Nebraska,
right?
But a lot of people don't really probably knew about her on the way up, and the rest of the world in the bowling world was like, there's this girl named Jillian Martin, and she's incredible. So it's cool to see those guys, get their airtime on here and kind of shout out that there's a good bowling program starting up over there.
Well, and I think, I know Northeast, I know East with the wrestling, you're, Northwest, again, I forgot, just concentrating on Northwest, but they had one of their first female wrestlers end up going to state, same with Northeast as well. And so I think just looking around and understanding there's, other components and other opportunities for scholars to be involved outside of kind of the trifecta, volleyball, football, and basketball. Again, nothing against those. Those are things that, I love and have participated in. But it was just really kind of cool to see them in this space, the thank yous that they sent. And then they're like, hey, come out and get to see us. So my hope is this week, during the state, I get to go out and catch a couple frames. I'm getting the lingo down. And so I'm going to catch a couple frames. And then he said the curve. I was working that on Wii Bowling a little bit when I went ahead and hooked up the computer, but they said that, the curve. And so I want to make sure that my curve works.
Oh, I just try to throw it straight. Apparently, that's another thing I learned about bowling. I just think you try to throw it straight every time. Apparently the patterns change.
Yeah.
It's like you're golfing. It's like you got to read it every single time and read it like, okay, how's the oil pattern
and the oil and what that
nuts.
looks like. And I'm just like, okay, it's a little bit more.
It's another level than you would think.
Yeah, getting through the first couple of years of college was enough. And now I got to go ahead and read that and greens and everything else. So that, that's going on. Good luck to all those that are in regards to districts and state and those and other extracurricular involvements. Also want to shout out 93.7 The Ticket has always been supportive, but we had our African American read-in on Wednesday. Just a phenomenal group of just readers from across the community that came out from the university to nonprofit to for-profit. And it was just really, really cool. And so I really want to thank the Lincoln City Libraries for their collaboration with that, along with Lincoln Public Schools and other entities, we were able, with partnerships from Nebraska Wesleyan and Lincoln Public Schools and Link to Literacy, we were able to give some books and some different components out. And then with that, we're going to continue with some of the individuals that you've been here. Gianna is going to be one of those individuals, but doing cadre story time. And so we did our first one yesterday at Walt Branch Library. And Harrison, if you haven't seen it, I got to send you some pictures. I posted it up on my social media, but there was like 70 individuals in that room, probably about 30 kids and the parents. And I got to give a shout out to Harnor, Octavia, and McKenna, who held that room down with head, shoulders, knees, and toes to the Stop Go song, the Party Freeze dance, and then just had a snowball fight. And it was just really cool. And so throughout February and March, they're going to be at different libraries, but also child care centers doing story time with predominantly Black authors and picture books, but just engagement to focus around literacy. And so you got to come out. We're going to have to get 93.7 The Ticket to come out one time and be involved in one of those, because the preschoolers were like, they would come up and it was like, okay, can you make a snow angel? And they laid on the ground and made a snow angel. We read Snowy Days by Ezra, and it was just, it really made your heart lift.
Yeah, that's all. And, especially with literacy too, like that's just one of those things where you just look at any double numbers. Like if you get those kids to read and like keep them reading and make sure literacy is a big part and they can do it at a good rate, like the amount of success they're likely to have is so much better off. So that's awesome. Especially, you can say in certain groups for whatever reason, they're just not, whether it's the schools
disproportionately not
disproportionately
engaged
not
in the same way.
I forget the quote. And I want to ask you, and again, I'm not saying I believe in this, and it's kind of it's a tough quote to hear, but I was listening to John Goodwin, Michael Hunter talk about it, and it might have been Malcolm X.
Yeah, I heard you earlier this week talking about that.
Yeah, and it said if you want to hide something from a brother, put it in the book. And when you hear stuff like that, like how does that kind of sit with you?
And I think Gianna will definitely be one to speak to that. But, ours is to uncover, and I don't even say, people say the hidden truth, but just uncover things, because the truth is there. The truth is in literature, it's in books, it's in opportunities. And so I hate saying uncover the truth, but just uncover opportunities. Like having young people in this space, on the station, just uncover like the truth when they get in here. Is like, the truth is, man, I can be on the radio.
Yeah.
Man, this is a seat that I really have fun in. I mean, I keep going back to Thea when we asked her about, her purpose and who she was, and she's just like confident, and so I think the truth is just providing those opportunities. And, the books are one avenue. It's just, that's just one avenue of things, but that's been one of our longest standing pieces. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about them continuing. This is their 5th or 6th year doing it. And just looking forward with an appreciative 93.7 The Ticket definitely being a part of that as we move forward.
Big. And that's like for everyone. If we can get every kid in the US to read, honestly, like we're just way better off.
Adults.
Yeah.
Adults. I mean, I think that's something for me that I kind of put to the wayside for a minute. And so it's not just young people, it's how do we model that?
Yeah, that's
for
point.
Others. And so if you ask any adult you come in the space, like, what's the last book you read? I think they say like 3/4 can't, say like what, what is that book? And so I think those are things, and we'll bring some people in and we'll ask Gianna a little bit about that. So I want to transition as we bring her in, but the Super Bowl's coming up. And so our introductory question for both of you all is, what is the absolute thing that you have to have on your Super Bowl spread? And I'm talking food wise, that has to be represented at your Super Bowl spread, where you walk in that house and you turn around, you don't care what team's playing. Like that's not a party you can be at.
This one might be a curveball, but my mom's taverns are that good. So I'm going to say taverns. We always had Super Bowl taverns. And
okay.
I don't know. My mom's recipe of taverns was so good. And it's just like quick, easy. Throw some cheese on there. You can just go nuts on it. It's super easy, super good though. I love some Super Bowl taverns.
Okay, Mama Harrison, bring some taverns in. Mama Harrison, we need some taverns.
Or Sloppy Joe's, whatever you guys call them.
Okay. I was wondering what a tavern was. I was acting like I knew. Gianna and I were like looking at each other, being like,
"Oh, you guys don't call them taverns?"
No.
Yeah, when you said Sloppy Joe's, I registered with you.
So in Northeast Nebraska,
okay,
they're called taverns.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I could not. I'm not kidding. I'm not. That's not bluff.
Was that hit-
402-464-5685. Help me out here so you guys don't think I'm lying. But yeah, we call them taverns.
That must have been hidden in one of those books, Gianna.
Yeah. Gotta read some more.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta read. Hey, obviously, we ain't got our education yet
Yeah,
from
I know.
Northeast Nebraska. All right. Well, thank you, Harrison, for the tavern. We were just nodding our heads like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, so
All
good.
right. Well, with that, Gianna, for you, what is a mainstay for you? You said she's an athletic trainer for football. We'll get into that in a little bit, but what is something that has got to be on the spread for a Super Bowl Sunday?
Definitely my family's dill pickle dip, which
Ooh.
I'll provide context because I used to live in Ohio and nobody had heard of it there.
Okay.
And I kind of have a mixed bag of reviews in Nebraska. But it's just chopped up dill pickle dips or dill pickles
Okay.
with cream cheese and a little bit of the dill pickle juice and onions. And sometimes you put dill also in it if you're feeling a little frisky, but it is so delicious. And you put it on like a potato chip.
Okay.
It's so good.
Would it go well with taverns?
Yes, for sure. We eat it
Okay,
with
okay.
our taverns.
It's a studio. We're bringing dill pickle dip and taverns together
Yes.
here in the 93.7
Yes.
The Ticket studio. Well, hey, Gianna, it's great to have you here and
Yes, thank you
sharing.
for having me.
You know, we started with food off the bat, but tell us who you are, your purpose, and then we'll get into a little bit about other aspects of you.
Yeah, so I'm Gianna Maddox Bayshard. My purpose is to advocate for myself so that I can advocate for others. The main things I do is equity and singing. So
Awesome. We might have to put you on the spot here because
Oh,
we
great.
the last couple of weeks we've had individuals tell us about their favorite song. Tell us who makes up your family.
so I have my mom and my adoptive dad.
Okay.
And then
Give
I have
us their names.
oh, my mom is Laura.
Okay.
My dad is Jeff. And then I have a lot of siblings. I have my biological siblings, oldest to youngest, going Emily, Christian, Bella, and then me.
Okay.
And then I have my step siblings, Ashley and Austin. And I have my foster siblings, Mac and Elena.
Awesome. And we have to ask the question every week. Do you have any pets?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Names on the pets. We Harris and I, we failed to get our board, but I am going to get that board by the end of the month of pet names. So what pet names do you have?
So I have a Welsh Terrier named Sage.
Okay.
And then I have a Golden Doodle named Basil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
I
love
thought
them.
you had a whole animal farm or
I
something the way you
did.
reacted.
I
Okay.
did, but we moved away from it. But
Okay.
I used to have horses. I had 15 bunnies. I had a goat. We had a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Any chickens?
No, and I've
Okay.
always wanted them, but my mom was like, I don't want to clean all that poop up.
Okay.
so-
Okay. We can appreciate that.
Fair
We
reason.
can- Yeah, we can appreciate that. We're just looking for the eggs due to the egg
Yes,
situation. So
uh-huh.
we're just trying to hit some people
For
up
sure.
if need be. So you talked a little bit about you kind of moved away and
Mm-hmm.
tell us about your your life journey as far as where you went to school, elementary, middle, high school. Where have you been? And then give those places a shout out.
Yeah, so people get really confused because I tell them I was born in Lincoln, but then they expect me to live there my whole life. No,
Okay.
I only lived there.
She was real quick. No.
Yeah.
At birth, I looked out. I was like, dude, hospital, we got to go. Parents,
I'm
we got
done
to
with
go.
this. No. I lived here until kindergarten. And actually, I was with you the other day, and my kindergarten teacher came up to me
Okay.
and recognized me.
Oh, from at the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Black Philanthropy event over at Emeritus.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then my first grade year, we moved to Ohio, and I lived there until 5th grade. And then we moved to Western Nebraska to Imperial.
So how
which
do you
is-
not know what taverns are?
I don't. Well,
Speaking of which, shout out to the text line here. Unknown texter 5539. Shout out to my neighbor from the north, Yankton, South Dakota. They are taverns.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Oh, they're coming in strong.
I
so-
don't know about that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's that northeast pocket. It's weird up there.
Okay. It was just that little, again, it was in
Maybe.
one of the books. It was in one of the books we didn't
For
get.
sure,
All
for
right.
sure.
So Imperial, so you went there.
Mhm.
You want to give a shout out, or was it just Imperial Middle School, Elementary School?
Well, it's a K through 12 school
Oh,
for the
okay.
whole county.
Oh, so it's called Imperial. Okay.
Yeah. It's a really small town.
All right.
Yeah. And then I moved here my 8th grade year, and I
Okay.
love it here.
Okay. So 8th grade, where did you go to school?
Irving.
Okay. So you were in
Yeah.
Aardvark.
Yep.
Okay. So you were in Aardvark there. And then now where do you go to school?
Lincoln High.
Okay, so in Lincoln High. So I'm sure they're gonna flood the text lines. Aaron Davis, happy birthday to him. So he's probably sitting there, So we've got that. So you're at Lincoln High. Tell us a little bit about like what you're involved in at Lincoln High.
So in the fall, I'm mostly involved in student athletic training for the football team.
Okay. So tell us a little bit. We had that conversation about football. So Harrison, I have to, do you have a pick for today? Do you or the family have a pick for today?
Well, my dad would definitely say K-State Wildcats.
Okay.
But they're obviously not in it today. He doesn't really, I don't know. We kind of just watch the Super Bowl for the food and the fun.
Okay.
So,
the dill pickle dip. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No matter what day it is, it's K-State Wildcats. That's it.
Okay. So as an athletic football trainer, you told me kind of the story that you, enjoy that. Is that something you want to do like moving forward? How'd you get involved in that?
Yeah. Well, I've wanted to be an athletic trainer, I think probably since my freshman year. I don't know. I didn't want to be a doctor just because that's really a high stress job. And obviously athletic training can be the same, but it just seemed a little bit more relaxed. And I like the community aspect of it. But yes, I love athletic training with Charity and Grace. Those are the two actual athletic trainers at Lincoln High. They're so amazing.
She gives the shout out. She goes, I thought you were going to be like my interns. So Charity and Grace, thanks for interning under Gianna. She really does appreciate that.
Yeah, well, they're amazing. I got to shout them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the football team, and then what else? What else are you involved in? What else do you do?
Mainly just show choir. That takes up a lot of time. Okay. So yeah.
And had a performance yesterday. So talk a little bit about why did you join show choir? Does the music aspect, is it the dancing? Tell us a little bit for those that aren't really as familiar with show choir, what goes into that?
Yeah. So first of all, show choir is basically pop music that you're dancing to on a stage, and then you change costumes halfway through.
Okay, so what songs is Lincoln High rolling with right now?
This year our theme is Cars, the movie. Have you watched that?
I have. I've caught that.
Yeah, so
Mater.
Yep, we have a Mater. So we have King's Highway.
Okay.
Route 66, Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna.
Okay.
And Cruising for a Bruisin' from Teen Beach Movie. That is such a good kids movie if you've never watched it. And then we have Life is a Highway, and there's one more that I cannot remember the name of.
So you had a performance yesterday.
Yes.
And so where was that, and how did y'all do?
It was at Southwest.
Okay.
We got 4th overall, which is super exciting.
Okay. I was going to say, Harris and I were looking, were you robbed? Do we need to talk to some judges? Like, that playoff cheese. Did they have the same officials? I'm just kidding.
I think so.
Okay,
we have a Mahomes.
So you got, okay. Wow.
That's the only thing I know about football.
I love the way, nice tie-in, Harrison. It's just so natural right now. He's turning red. He's just like, this is completely got off the rails.
Yeah, that's not where I thought we were going. It's all right. We really got a minute.
So you had the performance at Southwest. You all got 4th.
Yes.
Talk a little bit. Why did you get involved in show choir? Like, what drew you to that? Was it the singing? Was it the singing when you were growing up, or are you just like, okay, I saw something? What inspired you for that?
I can't remember a time in my life where I've not been in music. Dance is kind of a little bit more spotty, and I'm definitely not the best dancer, but I love dancing. And at Lincoln High, our concert choir, which is just like what you would think of as choir, like the super choral and wide vowels and hard to do.
Okay.
That is the same class as our show choir.
Oh.
So you have to do both if you're in varsity. And but then my freshman year, I was kind of iffy on it until we got to comp season, and I was like, this is so fun. And I just love the community it's giving me. I love dancing. I love being up here and sharing my art with other schools. So yeah.
So is music wise, tell me, what is your genre of music? That you say hey, if I got to run this show choir, we're going to be performing this. Maybe it is the Cars and it's the Disney animation, but is there like a genre that you're like, man, this is what my go-to would be. I'd really like us to sample it and try this.
Oh, well, I listen to so many genres. I think that as far as a genre, definitely 70s rock, or some, I don't know. But I definitely it would have Conan Gray. He's probably my favorite artist up there with Wise Blood. They're my favorites.
Wow.
And they have such good harmonies that would be so good for choir.
I don't know those names.
The 70s rock though thing.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I mean that's give me one. Yeah, give me just an artist out of the 70s rock that you kind of is your fallback.
I love David Bowie. I love Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay.
I love Kiss. I don't know. I like a lot.
Those are names like when I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I mean, timeless classics, timeless individuals. So
that's an old soul right there.
Yeah. I think we keep getting you all in this studio every time we come in. I mean, I remember somebody talking to us about how we're supposed to dress and everything else, like classic. God. Yeah, she talked about classic tones, but as we digress. Hey, great first segment with Gianna here. We'll be back right after this on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through February 9th, get a 10-pound tube of 85% ground beef for just $1.98 when you buy more than $100 in meat and groceries. Fresh cut chicken wings for $3.99 per pound. Busch Light 30 packs for $16.99 if you spend $6.01 in meat. And carbless cocktails 4 packs for $7.99 each when you buy 2. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Is your office technology holding your business back? At Hamilton, we're more than just an IT provider. We're your partner, focused on building integrated technology solutions tailored to your business needs, both today and for the future. We know that every business is unique, and that's why we provide the services and support you need and nothing you don't. We believe that together, you can continue to serve and support your customers while knowing that your technology is taken care of. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 11th is $2 off burgers, limit of 2, 20% off sauces and spices, and 5 pounds of 75/25 ground beef for $20, limit of 2 while supplies last. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln,
or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, alongside with Harrison here on the ones and twos. I'm going to let him give you a quick rundown of the day because I know we've got Husker post game with them playing Ohio State later today and Super Bowl. So I'll let Harrison kind of say what's going to be on the ticket here for the remainder of Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just giving you the rundown here. Of course, we'll have the breeze after this one, followed up by a replay. And then be sure 3 o'clock is when, well, hopefully 3 o'clock, if there's no overtime or anything like that, or if the game goes according to plan, we'll have post-game. Nebraska does face Ohio State at home. We'll have Eric Strickland, Austin Norman, and myself. And then we'll be right back on track from 5 to 9 o'clock with live shows then. But 3 o'clock will be that Husker Hoops post-game show.
Awesome. Fantastic. So full day, stay connected to the ticket for everything, even Super Bowl related as well. And so we are joined in studio. We had a great, I'd say probably one of the more energetic first segments as we not only learned about taverns, but we have an old soul that we'd like to say in the studio that wants to get on the mic and introduce. We need to have David Bowie or something be our new theme music. But yes. Gianna, who is a scholar at Lincoln High School and told us a little bit about her journey earlier that has taken her kind of a little bit, I don't say across the country, but it's the state as well, which is fairly awesome. So Gianna, as you kind of told us a little bit about yourself and your purpose, I want to go back to that. And if you can restate your purpose and then just tell everybody a little bit like how you're living that with the involvements that you're in and or maybe an experience that you've had that has kind of helped shape the purpose that you have today.
Mm-hmm. My purpose is to advocate for myself so that I can advocate for others. This purpose has definitely come from how I felt in situations in the past with both children and adults, and kind of like, you know, that feeling where you know you're the only one in the room that will stand up for you. And if you stand up for yourself, you won't be supported, but you know it's right and you know you have to do it. And I want to give people someone that they can always be like, okay, but Gianna would advocate for me if she was here. And Gianna would say, this is wrong. This is not how it should be. So I should do that because I know that I have at least one person behind me, you know?
Wow. And so just curious, like you talked about kind of sometimes being the only individual in the room and things like that. Like what has that looked like for you? And then I also am curious, like when have you had an experience or a person that has like made you like, okay, like I got comfort here. I got other people that recognize who I am and have put me forward in a positive light.
Mm-hmm. In old places that I've lived, I was put in situations that were very racist, homophobic, and just otherwise not inclusive.
Okay.
And I was I'm still a kid, but I was a very little kid then, and I felt like I had the world on my back, having to go to my teachers and say this is not okay, and knowing that my teachers would respond with that's just how life is, or it's not that bad, or even like it's not real, that's not how what's happening. And then also trying to seek help from other adults and not getting it, or just getting like, well, you're doing a great job, so just keep doing what you're doing. But like, I was a kid, I shouldn't be the one that's doing that. Yeah, that's definitely.
So you talked about the feeling with that occurring. What did, you talked a little bit about what did that feel like? And then when have you had, examples of when it's been somebody like you've gone and you said something to somebody and they've responded in a way that you're like, wow, that's what I had hoped. That's helping me move myself, but also this situation forward.
Yeah. I'm so sensitive about how I feel, especially this, I think, because it was such a big deal for me when I was a kid. So like, I'm very in tune to how people are reacting to me and what I'm saying. And that makes it even more shocking when someone actually supports me and agrees with me. I think that I've felt that the most recently with my mentor, Nevaeh. I'm in NHRI.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Nebraska Human Resource Institute.
Yes.
At the University of Nebraska. And they
Yes.
do scholar development, but also leadership. And then they also match individuals up with a mentor. And there's some mutual exchanges in regards to that for those that may not be familiar.
Yes. So she's like in the same grade as me, but in college.
Okay.
Yeah, but she validates me. But she's not just a yes man. If I'm in the wrong, she'll be like, Gianna, you gotta not do that.
Right.
But she just listens, and that's so shocking to me to get that response and like to be heard and listened to and understood. And yeah.
I oftentimes talk about Maya Angelou has a quote. It's often, I often forget what people have said. I often forget what people have done, but I always remember how people have made me feel.
Yes.
And so it's not, like she said, not always the words, it's not always the action or being present, but that's ultimately the feeling that I want to say each and every scholar or person deserves to feel included, but also that they belong. So, as far as, involvements, and we oftentimes ask for advice, what is some advice that you would give to young people who might need to have their voices heard or might be in a similar situation that you were in or might be in, to approach either an adult or approach a peer about something that might be bothering them? What's a piece of advice you would give to them?
I would say, if it's not going to put you in physical or emotional harm, definitely go to an adult, because you are a kid and that should not be your responsibility. But at the same time, I do understand personally that sometimes going to an adult will do nothing or maybe cause more harm. So it's kind of a difficult situation where you just have to understand that you have a whole life ahead of you. You have literally like 60, 70 years. And I can promise you with absolute certainty that at some point in your life, you can get out of it, as long as you stick with that mindset of, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to survive. I'm going to rise above this. I'm not going to turn into what these people are. I'm going to stay true to myself, and I'm going to find a community where I can be that.
Love that. Talk a little bit about, you talked about youth bringing forward. What's some advice for adults? If that information or that question or that feeling of, needing of appreciation or just validation or just a listening ear, what's some advice you would have for adults?
I think adults need to realize that they're still learning. There's never a time when you're not learning.
Hang on, you guys say that again, because I think sometimes like that right there was that mic drop. Because I even need that. So
Yes.
say that again.
There's never a time in your life where you're not learning, no matter how old you are. And even sometimes there are stuff that kids know that you don't know. And so if a kid comes to you and they're saying, I don't feel safe in this situation, or I've noticed that my friend is saying like he wants to sell a Black person and I don't think that's right, then there's never a time where you should be like, well, that's just how life is. Because if we all agree to learn every day of our lives, that's not how life is.
I like that point of, like you said, we're never too old to learn, and that young people can bring forward to us information. And I think sometimes that's hard because you feel like, okay, I've graduated at that point, and I'm the one to give advice. And so sometimes we, that quote that I remember Kalani McDermott used to be in the cadre said is like, what can you do? And she said, lean in louder.
Mm-hmm.
Just lean in a little bit louder. It had nothing to do with speaking louder or speaking over people, but just lean in and listen a little bit louder. And I to this day, I carry that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always, whether you're talking to kids or other adults or people you think you're better than, you just got to humble yourself.
Yeah.
Because once you get in that mindset, like you're absolutely right. Like you'll just stop learning. You'll kind of just set yourself up to plateau from that point on if you're just going to kind of have that sense of a little bit of arrogance. And especially when you're talking to youth, it's kind of maybe tough to humble yourselves, but we hear it every Sunday. That's why I like this show.
Yeah.
Like if you just shut up and listen, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we've been told how to dress. And we're still, and you can see Harrison and I still are not listening. And so we do need to humble ourselves. We're going to come in one day all decked out. But talk a little bit, and we're here on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score, with Gianna, who's a scholar at Lincoln High School, involved in a variety of different things. Talk a little bit about, you talked about show choir and some of the other things, but what are some of the other things you're involved in? And like I don't say the product, but you're involved with we talked earlier about the reading and the cadre story time, and you did that last year. Talk a little bit about kind of that involvement and how you feel like that's made an impact, not only on those younger scholars, preschool, early childhood, kindergarten scholars, but also how did that make an impact on you?
Mm-hmm. I love being able to have the opportunity to talk and involve myself with children because I don't get that a lot. There's just not a lot of places to do that. And I love doing the story times. I love hearing their little stories. I love hearing when their teachers say, okay, question time. And they say, I have 2 cats. It's like, great question, bud. It's just completely unrelated. But I just love that they have a space where they're safe enough to blurt out whatever they want and do the head, shoulders, knees, and toes dance and just be goofy. And I think the cadre has also definitely just helped me realize that I have a voice and I can use it. And there's a whole community of people that will support me.
What is the key factors? Because, we've had individuals in here from Equity Cadre Student Council, sports teams, etc. But we have individuals and adults and districts and people listen that are like, okay, that's great. You guys have this thing that's been going for a while, etc., etc. But like, how do I get a space like that started? What is, if you had like, this is 1 or 2 things that you need just to get things started. Maybe it's somebody that listens. Maybe you're like, hey, you need $1 million, whatever it is. But what do you believe is the 1 or 2 things that somebody could do today to make a space that's inclusive, that's welcoming, that's belonging, that's healing? What in your perspective, what could they do if you were consulting them?
I think first of all, responsibility, knowing that if you're telling people you're going to set up this space that's safe for them, you better follow through with it, because if not, it'll damage it even more. So you need to make sure that if you aren't able to facilitate stuff or, get what needs to be done, then maybe ask someone else to do it, or just bring up the idea to someone else who is willing and capable of doing it. And second, I think that you just need to have some confidence in being able to ask people for to come in and speak with them or help you out.
I like that. And before we go to break, what's one norm? Like, what's one rule for the space that people need to have?
I think shut up and listen. And you can talk if you want, but if you're gonna talk, then you better know that you have to listen too.
Hey, I don't have much to say. We're going to have to go to break real quick. I'm going to shut up and listen, but listen to these ads as we go to break on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street, family owned and operated, always the best value.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Ready to spruce up your space? No matter what project is on your list, you can check it off at the Nebraska Builders Home and Garden Show, February 7th through the 9th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. With over 200 businesses under one roof, you'll find the latest in home innovations and experts to handle your dream projects. Admission is just $10, and children 12 and under are free. For more information, visit the Home and Garden Show online at hbal.org.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com. A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fear's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fear's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fear's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and partner in crime on the ones and twos is not a Philadelphia or Kansas City Chiefs fan, Harrison. We're looking at the end of today's game being the start of the Chicago Bears.
That's what we're hoping for. And
again, Super Bowl, road to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. I think I missed it before, but from 3 o'clock, we'll have the Husk Hoops postgame. And then for whatever time we can get, it's actually 4 o'clock. That's going to be that Super Bowl start of the pregame. So if you want to listen to the Super Bowl, but you got to drive, you can listen to it on 93.7 The Ticket at 4 o'clock starting pregame.
Fantastic. Well, this is our last segment, and we've been joined in studio by Gianna. And like I said, I mean, hasn't stopped smiling since she got into space. I mean, from the taverns to the dill pickle dip, which we're either gonna expect some next week when we come on studio, or we're just gonna roll over to your house and go ahead and mix it up with the taverns. Gianna, you shared some great advice, just talking about listening, talking about the role from an adult standpoint, but also the responsibility of young people. Share just, what has been a defining moment for you? Like, what's been something that you've gotten to do that you've been like, okay, this is something that not all young people get to do, but is of value, and it's going to stick with me for some time.
I think there are so many. I think I've been so blessed in my life and the opportunities that have been given to me. The one I can think of right now is probably the equity cadre, because I mean, there are so many people in my school and around me that I'm like, if you had the community that I've been given, you could turn into so much more. And that's not saying that they are not a lot, but it's just saying the equity cadre has given me a place where I can explore my confidence and my viewpoints and learn and shut up and listen. And that is something that everybody needs, and I've been fortunate enough to be given it.
Awesome. Talk a little bit about your involvement at Lincoln High. You've got some things going on this week that you and some of your peers have been instrumental in planning for Black History Month. So briefly tell us a little bit about what that's looking like for the High.
Yeah, our school has a Black History Week. So for the week from first through first periods, we do sometimes guest speakers, sometimes other people will come in, or sometimes it's poetry readings or art exhibitions. So we're doing all of that this week on different days. We're all super excited. This has been something we've been planning for a long time. And yeah.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about your future plans and aspirations. I mean, is it to be in Cars 4? Or, I mean, you talked a little bit about that earlier, but like, as an athletic trainer, is there certain people a team or an organization you want to work for? Tell us about like where will we see you in 10, 15 years?
Well, in a dream world, I would love to be a singer.
Okay.
I do post singing videos now, but very much on the low key.
Okay. Well, those will be posted soon. Harrison, we found it. So those will be opening up the shows the rest of the week.
Depends what it's on. If it's on TikTok,
Yeah.
half the population,
It is.
a lot of people won't be able to access it.
Yeah, people have been finding it. Well, I do it on YouTube and TikTok, and I don't know why I did that, because more people find it now.
Okay. Okay.
But I've been fortunate enough, people haven't come up and talked to me about it.
Well, now we got it on air, so
Yeah.
I might get that a little bit more.
Wonderful. As far as athletic training, I'm an anomaly in the fact that I don't know a lot about sports, but I truly do love sports. I just don't know anything about them.
Okay.
I would love to athletic train for a volleyball team or a football team.
Any specific one? We want to put it out there. I mean, there's some connects. So what?
I mean, UNL.
Okay. Okay.
Like, that would be amazing.
Danny, Bus Boom's back, and so I mean, there might be some openings. You never know.
Yeah,
so.
she's not asking for the X's and O's
Yeah.
anyway. She just wants to make sure the players are feeling all right.
Yeah, literally.
Okay. So the athletic training. All right. So we always ask individuals to give us it's a sports theme it's a sports theme station, and DP has a foundation of love. And so for 30 seconds, give this community your love huddle. The community's wrapped around you, and you've got the mic, you've got the platform. What words would you say to them to get them inspired to take steps to walk together towards love?
I think that I would say love is unlimited, but it is also knowing your limits, because I think that if you are breaking your limits, you're breaking your boundaries, that'll push you further and further away from love. You can't love someone if you're hating everything that they're saying. So knowing that within a community, there are different roles and different ways to love everyone. And that doesn't mean that you have to be necessarily as close to everyone as you are with everyone, but just knowing that love can be shown in different ways. There's no problem with that, and you just need to explore different ways, different opportunities, different art forms, any way to be able to tell the people that you love them.
Wow. I mean, if that doesn't get you moving, I have no clue what will. Gianna, I want to thank you for coming in this morning. Your advice, your insight, your knowledge, but just also just the glow that you brought into this space is definitely something that makes each and every one of us better. So your purpose is you are providing that in the space. So again, thank you. We'll see you next week on 93.7.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. We'll see you next week on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.